right. If I'd known you were going to say those nice things, I would have been nicer to you last week. Seriously, you make me feel like an expert, and I assure all of you that if there's anything that I'm expert in, it's making mistakes. In the last 26 years in the food service business, if there's a single mistake that we haven't made, they're making it right now while I'm talking to you. I guarantee you. Let me wake you up a little bit with a funny story. After eating a heavy meal, sometimes we get a little drowsy, and I don't want to totally put you to sleep. So I want to wake you up just a little bit. I want to tell a funny story, and stories that are really most funny are the ones on yourself. So I'm going to tell a story about myself. 26 years ago, just before we were getting ready to open the Angus Barn, we had the crazy idea that we could wash dishes for a 350-seat restaurant with a very small 3-compartment sink. Now, most of you are too young to know how to wash dishes by hand in a 3-compartment sink. But the way you do it is you put them over here in this compartment and you wash them a little bit. Then you put them over here in the next compartment and you rinse them. Then you put them over here in the 3rd compartment and you sanitize them. It has one of those coils that go down and it heats the water to 180 degrees and you sanitize the dishes over here. Well, anybody who knows anything about food service at all, Brad could even tell you that's impossible for us to be able to think about washing dishes for 350 people, and hopefully we would turn those tables more than that, but washing those dishes with a 3-compartment sink. So the first couple of nights, the dishwashers would come to me after we opened up, and they'd say, "Mr. Eure, we're having a bad time. We can't keep up." And I'd give them my greatest motivational speech. I said, you guys are doing super. I said, "Y'all hang in there." And I said, "They're going to be through soon." And said, "Maybe a couple of months from now we'll look at a little raise." And I said, "Y'all are just doing great." So they go back and they continue washing the dishes. And the next night, the same thing happened. I'd give them my motivational speech again. The 3rd night, same thing happened. All right, here comes Saturday night, and I'm walking through the dining room. And pretty soon, coming out the kitchen door, I see dishes pushing the door open. Have you ever seen lava, pictures of lava in a newsreel coming down off the mountain and just sort of spreading around? Well, that's the way my dishes were coming out of the kitchen, just spreading around everywhere. There was nowhere to put them. The dishes were just crawling all over everywhere. And I looked around and the dishwashers had quit. And they had walked out, and very frankly, I don't blame them. They had just not said anything to anybody, and they just walked out the door. Don't blame them, as I said. So that night, my partner and I and my wife and my partner's wife washed dishes all night long. And we were still washing dishes when the sun came up the next morning. And when the sun came up, also the light bulb came on in our brains. We decided that those dishwashers were smarter than we were, that they were right. We did need a dishwashing machine, and what they've been trying to tell us all week was the truth. The moral of that story is always listen to your employees, because sometimes they can tell you some things that are very valuable, and sometimes also they may be smarter than you are. So always listen to what people are trying to tell you. Anyway, that's a true, funny story that maybe will wake you up a little bit. Before I go any further, let me congratulate all of you on this splendid program. I was not aware that such a program existed in the school system. And when Joy Frankoff told me about it, I really got excited. I'm really turned on to what all of you are doing. And I think the wisdom of the school system to have such a program and you young people to be a part of it is really fantastic. And I hope other people besides me have an opportunity to learn about this program, because it's really a great program. It's a real world program. It's the kind of program that you can get your hands on and you can really learn something and you can go forward and take another step towards whatever career or profession it is that you decide to eventually choose. And I just want to congratulate all of you on this great program and completing the program. And I'd like to congratulate Joy for the splendid job that she's done, and commend the school system for having such a fine program. Let's give them a big hand. Now that I've thoroughly congratulated everybody, and it was an honest congratulation too for all of them, and hopefully I've gotten you awake a little bit, let me tell you a few things that may or may not be helpful to you for the rest of your life. But if you listen carefully, somewhere along the way in what I'm going to tell you, you're going to be able to pick something out from what I tell you tonight that you're going to be able to use. And if you pick one or two things out that you can use and carry with you, then I will feel like that I have accomplished my goal tonight. Now, what I want to talk about is something that's dear to all of us, and that's winning and success. And all of us want to be winners, and all of us want to be successful. And as we go through life, some people we see win all the time and are successful all the time, and some people never seem to win, and some people never seem to quite achieve that success that they're searching for so diligently. Well, what I'd like to tell you is just remember a few things. Number one, I have a formula for winning and success. And that formula is very simply a little saying. Every day, in every way, I'm going to be better than I was the day before. Now you can equate that also to every year. In every way, I'm going to be better than I was the year before. And you can equate that all through your life. And if you follow that formula, you don't have to worry about winning or about success. Because the success and the winning is automatic. Because while you're striving to be better at whatever it is you're doing, you're automatically being a winner at the same time. And magic things will sort of happen. Now, as you think about trying to do that every day in every way, being better than I was the day before, you say, okay, well, how do you always get to feel like doing that? I mean, some days you get up and you don't feel so good. And some days you just don't feel like trying to be better than you were the day before. Well, my suggestion, so far as that goes, is the first thing that you have to do as you're getting ready to go out into life, as you're getting ready to go on to new and better things for yourselves, what you have to do is constantly try and improve your self-image, your self-esteem. Always keep trying to feel better about yourself. The way you always try to feel better about yourself is set goals for yourself and accomplish these goals. When you set goals for yourself and accomplish goals, that's automatically a turn on. Anytime you say, I'm going to do this, and you do it, you feel good because you've accomplished something. And the big thing is, don't set goals that are too far away. Don't set goals that you have trouble reaching. Set goals that you have to reach a little bit for, but not too far. Don't set goals that are impossible. Don't say to yourself, I'm going to be the president of the company next week, and you just started this week. Set goals for yourself that you can achieve. Feel good about yourself. Work on your self-esteem and care about yourself. Because only when all of you in this room truly care about yourselves will you be able to care about anybody else. I tell people out there in Angus Barn all the time, I say, you've got to hire people who care. Care about how they look. Care about where they came from. Care about who they are. Care about where they're going. Care about their appearance. Care about their religion. Care about themselves. When we can get people that care, then they will be able to give of themselves and care about doing a good job for somebody else. But until you care yourself, you don't have really the way to care about someone else and to do the kind of job that you need to do for someone else. So that's the next thing you have to do, in my opinion, is you have to build up your self-esteem so you can really care about yourself and about other people. Now, while you're doing this, there are 4 traits that I try to develop in people, and I also try to develop these traits in myself every day. I practice these traits every day. I'll say them very quickly, and then I'll tell you about each one of them. The first trait is a good attitude. The second trait is discipline. The third trait is hard work. And the fourth trait is guts. A polite word for guts would be intestinal fortitude. Pardon me, ladies, for not saying that first. Guts sort of describes it better. Now, I'll talk about each one of those things just a little bit. First, let's talk about a good attitude. A good attitude is the greatest thing you can possibly have. I've got a relative who's the smartest guy I know. He went to Yale, he went to the Harvard Business School. He can write a paper that would just astound most any professor in any college, but he can't keep a job. He can't keep a job more than 6 months because he doesn't have a good attitude. He can't get along with anybody. And if you don't have a good attitude and can't get along with people, no matter how smart you are, you're not going to get very far. But the people who do have a good attitude and approach their work with a good, positive attitude and like people and get along with people, they're the ones that are going to really have an opportunity to go forward. A good attitude is really the greatest thing that someone can have. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the next thing. Discipline. Discipline is what causes you to get up 15 minutes earlier rather than laying in the bed 15 minutes later so that you can walk into your job on time. Or discipline is what causes you to do everything you're supposed to do rather than taking that shortcut. Because usually when you take that shortcut, something suffers. And usually what suffers is the quality of whatever it is you're doing. Discipline causes you, the self-discipline that you have to employ, causes you in everything you do to do it right. And discipline is such an important trait. And I have to work very hard at it because sometimes it's very easy for all of us to slip so far as self-discipline is concerned. My wife says I absolutely have no discipline as far as my eating habits go. And you can tell she's probably right by the size of my waistline. But the next trait that I try so hard to develop in myself and I try to get other people to develop is hard work. There is no magic way that I know that anyone can wave a wand and get something done without a lot of hard work. There is no easy way to success. There's no easy way to winning. It takes a lot of hard work. I have people coming to me every day. They say, "Hey, let's go do this. And if we do this and do that, it's just going to work and we're going to be successful." I said, "Hey, you're showing me something I never heard of before because I didn't know you could do all that and have it happen without a lot of work. Who's going to do the work?" And then when we start talking about who's going to do the work, then that program sort of crumbles out because nobody's had to do the work. What I'm trying to tell you is nothing really happens that's any good without a lot of hard work. Somebody's got to do the hard work. Whether it's you, somebody working for you, somebody's got to do it. We've talked about discipline, we've talked about hard work, we've talked about a good attitude. Now let's talk about the last thing. Let's talk about guts. Guts is when you've been doing something all day, all week, all year, and your whole world is starting to crumble. Everything is getting messed up, and it's just not working out. Nothing is going the way it's supposed to go. And you reach down and find something that you didn't know you had. You call it pride. You call it anything you want to, but you reach down and you grab something and you pull it back up and then you go on and finish the job and straighten it out and everything gets done. That's guts. That's intestinal fortitude. And a good attitude, discipline, hard work, and guts will certainly cause you to be a woman. Now, why are you doing all these things that I've been talking about? Be sure you do something that is almost most important of all. Have a sense of humor. Be able to laugh at someone, be able to laugh with someone, and most important of all, be able to laugh at yourself. The most unsuccessful people I know in this whole world are people that cannot laugh at themselves. They don't have a sense of humor, and that's part of being successful in my opinion. Have a sense of humor, along with all these other things that we've been talking about. So we go back to the beginning and we say, every day, in every way, I'm going to be better than I was the day before. And what you have to do is strive to do this. And as long as you strive to do this, you're going to be an automatic winner. You don't always have to accomplish that goal. But trying to accomplish that goal and doing everything you can to reach that goal makes you successful and makes you a winner. And while you're doing all this, remember the golden rule. Now the golden rule is, I have a little different interpretation of it maybe than I should, but the golden rule is, he who has the goal makes the rule. And what you've got to do is feel good enough about yourself so that the man that's paying your salary, or the woman that's paying your salary, or the company that's paying your salary, you may not always want to do it the way they want you to do it. But still, it's their paycheck. And it's their company. And they're telling you that they want you to do something. You must remember, as long as it's legal, moral, ethical, as long as they're asking you to do something that's not immoral, or not unethical, or not illegal, do it and do it willingly. Because that's what they're paying you to do. And when the time comes that you don't like their golden rules and you can't put up with their golden rules, then you need to go find somebody else to work for. Because you shouldn't have to work for someone that you don't appreciate and respect. But while you're working for this person or this company, try to remember that they're paying you to do a job. And you're doing the job for them, and try to do it the way they want you to. And that's sort of the golden rule. And you'll notice that as I've been talking tonight, I've used the word strive several times. And to me, strive is probably the best word that I know. It's the most beautiful word in the English language, and strive means to establish a goal and to do everything you can to achieve that goal. And I'd like to analyze strive with you before I close, and I'll just about be on time, I think. Strive, S-T-R-I-V-E. The S in strive means to start. Start small. Like inch by inch, anything's a cinch, or any fool can move a mountain, one shovelful at a time. So the S in strive means start small. Start your road to success small. Start with yourself. The T means to think. Think possibilities that are positive. Think that you can be a winner and that you can be successful, and it will happen. The R means to reach. Don't reach for a goal that you know you can just reach up here and grab. Reach a little beyond your grasp. Reach a little beyond. The I means to invest. Invest everything that you've got into being a winner and being successful. Your time, your pride, your hard work. And remember, it doesn't take much to be successful. It simply takes everything that you've got. The V means to visualize. Visualize your success. And the E means to expect success. And when you've reached your final goal, when you've reached your final goal, share your success with someone else. Strive really is a pretty word. And I challenge all of you to strive to be better tomorrow at everything you do than you were today. Thank you.